going on, everybody? Brandon Schaefer here. Let's check out what I got. Edgar Payne, Composition of Outdoor Painting. Now, I haven't had a chance to actually sit down and read the whole thing, but I've skimmed through a few parts of it, and I've read a few paragraphs, a few pages here and there when I get a chance, and a lot of good stuff in here. I'm looking forward to reading the whole thing and really learning more about composition and stuff. And I want to read this before I start going outside to do plein air painting again, so I'll probably start reading this one soon. So check that out if you haven't heard about it. You can get it on Amazon. It's pretty expensive though for this size. I thought it was going to be a little bigger, but it was like, you know, 47 bucks or something for this little thing. But definitely worth it, I think. I mean, from what I've seen in this thing, it's really cool. It doesn't just talk about composition as a skeleton of the painting. It talks about different arrangements, different eye flows, different colors. I mean, composition is everything. Value structure, the colors, the drawing, everything. Keep that in mind. Anyway, Edgar Payne, one of my favorite artists. This is probably the least favorite book I got, but hey, it's got to be one of them, right? Corot, I think is how you say that. Corot. It's a Monet, I'm not sure. Has some cool images, but it's okay. You know. It's not my favorite, but I mean, there are some good paintings in here. It's good to look through and get some inspiration and just see, you know, how do people handle their brush work, the color, and stuff like that. So this is another one of my favorite artists, Thomas Hill. Direct from Nature, the oil paintings of Thomas Hill. Oil sketches of Thomas Hill. So he's done a lot of paintings in Lake Tahoe, Yosemite, a lot of places around me. So it really inspires me to go where he went and do a painting there. Like he did some paintings near like Lake Tahoe at this place called Emerald Bay. And it just makes me want to go find the location and do a painting there now, and just see how, you know, see the differences. And but he has a lot of great work. I love his work. So check him out if you've never heard of him. Thomas Hill, great artist. I mean, really colorful, but and realistic, but not super real. I mean, he does some pretty super realistic stuff. I mean, look at all those people in that one. But you know, some of his work, I guess depending on the size, it'll look kind of painterly. You know, usually larger work doesn't look as painterly because there's so much detail you can add. But just great colors, and I love it. Very atmospheric. Anyway, check that out. Oh, going through the stack here, Daily Painting. This is one of my favorite too. Really inspires me to get on the daily painting habit. It's a nice thick book, a lot of info about small paintings and inspiration. I mean, this book is just filled with stuff. So color mixing, composition, values. I mean, everything about painting and how to, you know, painting small landscapes, still lifes. Stuff about internet blogging, how to sell, like, etc., etc. I could go on forever. So this is definitely a good book. I've read through mostly this whole thing because at the beginning of the year is when I started daily painting, and I have not looked back. So, and all my paintings, the ones that are for sale, are on my Etsy page. So check that out on my website. Just thought I'd throw that in there. You like how I did that? Sorolla. The Master Works of Sorolla. This is an awesome book too. I mean, hundreds of pages, but great work. He did huge work. Look up Sorolla. He did, I mean, some of his paintings are like 10 foot by 6 foot or something. And I've seen pictures of him. He actually stood back he used giant paintbrushes that were like 3 feet long. So he stood back from his painting so he could actually, see it come to life. So this painting is 79 by 59. This painting right here, inches. So it's just huge, huge painting. Basically life size. But there was a big long painting I've seen in here, and it was like 10 foot by 30 foot or something, huge. But he has some great colors. He's very similar to Monet, I think, but not as impressionistic. These are from like 1906, early 1900s. There's one in here where the red just pops. But you can see there's a big impressionist kind of Monet type of scenes. At least that's come to my mind. But he always painted a lot of people, at least from what I've seen. I have seen landscapes and things like that, but a lot of portraits, a lot of people, beaches, water. So you definitely impressionistic type of strokes. But far away it looks so realistic, it looks beautiful. But when you zoom in, it's just paint strokes. That's what I like. That's my thing. A lot of great color. Here's this red. Look at this red in this. Look at that. I don't know if you guys can see that well, but that is just crazy red. Anyway, so there's Sorolla. Check him out. There it is again, in case you want to know how to spell it. A little book on Frederick Church. He did some landscapes. There's some nice photos in here. I get this stuff. I find these artists online, people I never heard about, and I look at their work, and then I just I want to see I want to see what they do. I want to get some inspiration and how to handle different sky colors, how to handle all types of things, boats, how do they handle objects, and just learn as much as I can by looking at it and seeing like, okay, that's how they handled like light peeking through the clouds, how did artists handle that? What's the best way to do it? And just see, even if I don't have the same technique, I use acrylic, and all these artists are oil painters. So, I'm trying to bring something new to acrylics. By using slow drying acrylics, it helps me out a little bit to look a little more painterly. See, that's awesome right there. So the slow drying acrylics help me look like I painted with oils, because people say that to me all the time. Oh, it looks like you painted with oils. Well, it's because I use the wet and wet technique. The whole painting's wet while I'm painting it. But the cool thing about it is if I paint thinner, or I thin it down with water, it'll dry a lot quicker. And then I can use acrylic techniques. I can use dry brushing. And usually the painting only stays wet for like max 24 hours the way I paint. So it's real versatile. It's great. It's really great. And what's cool about it is that I can use the slow drying open medium. I can use regular acrylics and then just use the medium when I want to use it. So if I want to paint the background and make it dry really quickly, just use regular acrylics. And then I want to paint the objects and really blend that around, or if I'm painting a portrait or something, I'll use the medium where I want to use it and whatever paint mixtures I want. So I'm trying to bring something new to acrylics that I don't see people doing. Everybody just complains when they use acrylics that they dry too quickly, they can't work with them, blah, 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 the paint, the color fades, or whatever kind of excuse people have. I'm trying to bring some reality to the situation and say, look, you can do this with acrylics. It is possible. I'm doing it every day. You know, so it just takes some, you know, figuring it out and working with it and not giving in. This was a cool one I got. Really big book. California Light. A Century of Landscapes. Paintings of the California Art Club. I mean, there are some great artists in here, man, that are just, you don't never even heard of them. I mean, look at that painting of an orange tree. That's what I'm talking about. That's awesome. But there is some, you know, some of them look impressionistic, of course, because it's just that time period, you know, early 1900s kind of. Some of them look like, oh, this is an Edgar Payne. I was going to say, some of them look like Edgar Payne, but here you go, I'll show you some of Edgar Payne's work. I mean, beautiful, man. Beautiful. I mean, look, there's just so many in here. This is probably one of my favorite books that I got. I mean, sorry the lighting's not the best in my apartment right now. I don't have the lights all set up for this, but I mean, this is some awesome work. I wish I could give you some real names to look at. But I mean, if you want to paint landscapes and stuff, and I mean, geez, if you want to paint some landscapes, number one, come take a trip out to California. That's what I'm talking about, and or move out here if you can. But nah, if you want to paint some landscapes, I mean, this is a cool book to get, because the thing about California and the thing about this book is a lot of the paintings are from Southern California. But there's also paintings from Northern California. And there's so many like little ecosystems in California. There's beaches, so there's waterscapes, there's seascapes, there's deserts, there's forests, there's redwoods, there's hills, there's mountains. There's almost everything in California. So this book is just filled with awesome stuff. I mean, so you can see cliffs, there's boats, water. So I mean, check this book out if, you know, this is probably one of my favorites, so there you go. So if you have some money to blow and you just want some inspiration around the house for painting, there you go. Here's some, that's what this, okay, 2 more left. This is a big one too. John Singer Sargent, of course. Gotta have his work. I mean, look at that on the front. I mean, that's awesome. I wish you could see all the color in there. This is a huge book. Mostly, I was surprised. I didn't really read up on the descriptions and stuff on these books. But he actually did a lot of watercolor as well. So there's a lot of oil paintings. There's a lot of watercolors. And just it's cool just to see how he handled stuff and how loose he could get with watercolor. And sometimes you don't even know what it is. You just know it's a landscape. But you know, it's amazing. He has a lot of amazing work. So I just look through this thing all the time, read some of the pages. But this really, these books, it's like a volume. There's like 8 of these books of his work. So this one is from 1908 to 1913. I mean, this guy was busy. He did so many paintings. So it's just crazy. Oh, good thing about the end of this video, somebody's calling me. Anyway, I'll get that in a minute. Last one, Richard Schmidt. I didn't really get this one for Christmas, but I get it a little before, so I figured might as well throw it in. Richard Schmidt, The Landscapes. Awesome book. I mean, awesome painter of our times, you know, he's still alive, and he's been painting for like 50 or 60 years. I mean, long time. I mean, you can find his work online. I'm not going to show too much of the book or anything. But anyway, check these out. I hope you enjoyed these. I got to get going. I got to answer the phone here. And anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed just seeing some books. I mean, those are all my painting books that I use for inspiration. I got another small stack over there, but those are all older books like John Carlson, just other Kevin McPherson, all those other books. So I got a lot of inspiration under my belt, and I've seen a lot of stuff. There's even more online. I have a whole folder of inspiration from other artists. Edward Leon Cortez, look him up. He's one of my favorite. I wish I had a book of his. He doesn't really have a book or anything. Awesome work though. Anyway, thanks for watching. Peace.